Ladies and gentlemen, there's something unstoppable about a woman who moves with wisdom. She doesn't need to raise her voice to be heard. She doesn't need to chase after people to be valued. Her presence alone speaks louder than words. She doesn't fold under pressure. She stands tall. She doesn't allow emotions to rule her. She rules over them. The world may throw storms her way, but she walks through them with grace, untouched by the chaos around her. But here's the truth. Not every woman has mastered this. Some give their strength away too easily. Some let pain turn them bitter instead of better. And that's where the difference lies. A woman rooted in wisdom understands this. She does not react, she responds. She does not beg, she builds. She does not seek approval, she moves with purpose. So if you've ever felt like you're losing yourself, if you ever wondered why people test your patience, why life keeps throwing battles your way, listen closely, because today I'm going to tell you why a woman walking in wisdom moves with grace and strength. And if you master this, you'll never move the same way again. A woman rooted in wisdom understands something that many fail to grasp. Strength is not in how loud you can be, how much you can argue, or how quickly you can clap back at those who test you. Strength is in silence. Strength is in knowing when to speak and when to remain still. She does not waste her energy proving herself to people who are determined not to understand her. She does not explain her value to those who are too blind to see it. She does not respond to disrespect with the same reckless energy that was thrown at her. Instead, she lets her presence speak for itself. A woman of wisdom understands that every battle is not hers to fight. She does not allow herself to be pulled into meaningless conflicts, arguments that lead nowhere, or situations designed to steal her peace. She knows that reacting emotionally, without thought or control, is a trap that weakens her. She has learned the power of patience, the power of restraint, the power of choosing her battles wisely. She understands that the loudest person in the room is often the weakest, and the one who moves with silence, intention, and grace is the one who truly holds power. When someone tries to provoke her, she does not respond immediately. She pauses, she thinks, she assesses the situation, she asks herself, is this even worth my time? Is this person worth my energy? Is this fight necessary? Or is it just a distraction from what truly matters? And more often than not, she realizes that silence is the greatest response she can give. Because silence confuses people. It leaves them wondering. It forces them to deal with their own words and actions without the satisfaction of a reaction. This woman is not weak. She is disciplined. She has trained herself to move differently. She does not let anger or frustration dictate her choices. She does not allow petty individuals to pull her down to their level. She has too much wisdom for that. She understands that not everything requires a response, and not every person deserves access to her emotions. People will test her. The world will try to shake her. There will be moments when she is tempted to react, to defend herself, to prove a point. But she knows that true power is in controlling herself, not in trying to control others. She does not need validation from anyone because she validates herself. She does not need to explain herself to people who have already made up their minds about her. She lets them think what they want, because at the end of the day, their opinions hold no weight in her life. She also understands the power of observation. While others are quick to react, she watches. She studies people. She listens more than she speaks. She picks up on details that others miss. She understands the motives behind people's words and actions, and because of that, she is rarely caught off guard. Her wisdom allows her to see situations clearly, without the cloud of emotion blocking her vision. And that is what makes her dangerous in the best way, because she is always 10 steps ahead. When she walks into a room, she does not need to announce herself. She does not need to demand attention. Her presence alone commands respect. She carries herself with confidence, with self-assurance, with grace. And that is why people remember her, not because she was the loudest, not because she forced anyone to notice her, but because she moved with an energy that could not be ignored. A woman rooted in wisdom also knows that silence is not just about avoiding conflict, it is about conserving her energy for the things that truly matter. She does not spend her time gossiping, complaining, or engaging in negativity. She values her peace too much for that. She chooses to focus on things that elevate her, that bring her growth, that align with her purpose. When something is meant for her, she does not chase it. She does not beg for opportunities, for relationships, for validation. She moves with certainty, knowing that what is truly hers will never require her to lower her standards. She does not force connections. She does not hold on to things that no longer serve her. She trusts the process, even when it is difficult, because she knows that wisdom is about patience as much as it is about strength. She also understands the importance of emotional control. She does not allow others to dictate how she feels. She does not give anyone the power to disturb her inner peace. When someone tries to upset her, she remains unmoved, not because she does not feel emotions, but because she has mastered them. She understands that emotions are temporary, but the consequences of reacting out of anger or frustration can be permanent. People often mistake her silence for weakness. They assume that because she does not react, she does not care, but they could not be more wrong. She cares deeply about herself, her purpose, her growth. That is why she does not waste time on things that drain her. She has learned that wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to fight and when to walk away, when to hold on and when to let go. And because of that, she is unstoppable. Nothing and no one can shake her. She moves through life with a sense of calm, a deep knowing that no matter what happens, she will be fine. She does not panic in the face of difficulty. She does not let fear control her. She stands firm, unwavering, grounded in wisdom. So when you see this woman, when you encounter her presence, when you watch the way she carries herself, understand this: she is not quiet because she has nothing to say. She is quiet because she has already won. She has already figured out the game, and she is playing it in a way that guarantees her victory. A woman who understands the power of silence, the power of self-control, and the power of wisdom moves through life in a way that others can only admire. She does not lower herself to meet people where they are. She elevates herself so that only those who are worthy can reach her. That is true strength, that is true power, and that is why a woman rooted in wisdom will always move with grace. A woman rooted in wisdom does not move through life seeking approval from others. She understands that her worth is not determined by external validation, nor is her value measured by how many people like her or agree with her choices. She is guided by something deeper, something stronger, an inner knowing that keeps her grounded even when the world around her is chaotic. She does not waver in her decisions because she has learned to trust herself. She does not second-guess every step she takes because she knows she is being led in the right direction. While others may seek constant reassurance, she stands firm in her convictions. She does not move out of fear. She does not shrink herself to make others comfortable. She does not mold herself to fit into spaces where she does not belong. Instead, she walks boldly, unapologetically, with an unshakable confidence that does not require approval from anyone. She has outgrown the need to be liked. She understands that no matter what she does, there will always be people who misunderstand her, who judge her, who criticize her, but she does not let that shake her. She does not live her life trying to please those who were never meant to understand her in the first place. She has accepted that not everyone will support her journey, and that is okay. Her path is not for everyone. It is for her. A woman of wisdom also understands the dangers of seeking validation from the wrong places. She has seen what happens when people allow outside opinions to dictate their worth. She has watched how desperation for approval leads to compromise, to settling, to living a life that is not authentic. She refuses to fall into that trap. She knows that seeking validation from others is like chasing the wind. No matter how hard you try, you will never catch it. And even if you do, it will slip through your fingers just as quickly. Instead of looking outward for affirmation, she turns inward. She affirms herself. She speaks life over herself. She reminds herself of who she is, even when no one else does. She does not wait for compliments to feel beautiful, for promotions to feel accomplished, or for relationships to feel worthy. She already knows her worth, and because of that, she cannot be manipulated. She cannot be swayed by false praise or empty words. She sees through deception because her confidence is not built on what others say. It is built on what she knows to be true about herself. This woman moves differently. When she walks into a room, she is not seeking attention. She is not hoping to be noticed, but she is noticed. Not because she demands it, but because her energy commands it. There is something about her presence that speaks before she even opens her mouth. It is the way she carries herself, the way she holds her head high, the way she moves with certainty. She does not need to prove herself to anyone because her confidence is quiet yet undeniable. She is not desperate for approval, but she does attract respect. People may not always agree with her, but they cannot ignore her strength. They may not always like her, but they cannot deny that she stands firm in who she is. And that is more powerful than being liked, because to be liked is temporary, it is fleeting, but to be respected, that lasts. A woman who does not seek validation from others is also a woman who is free. She is free from the chains of other people's opinions. She is free from the burden of constantly trying to fit in. She is free to live life on her own terms, without fear of judgment. And that freedom allows her to thrive in ways that many never will. She is not afraid to say no. She is not afraid to walk away from things that do not serve her. She does not cling to situations, relationships, or environments that drain her. She does not force herself to stay in places where she is not valued, because she knows that she is enough, with or without external approval. This kind of confidence makes her unstoppable. It allows her to take risks, to step into new opportunities without hesitation, to pursue her dreams without waiting for permission. She does not need anyone to tell her she is capable. She already knows she is. She does not need constant reassurance that she is on the right path. She trusts herself enough to know that she is. Her confidence does not come from arrogance, it comes from wisdom. She has done the work. She has built herself from the inside out. She has gone through challenges that have strengthened her, lessons that have shaped her, and experiences that have refined her. She has faced moments of doubt, moments where she questioned her own strength, but she never let those moments define her. Instead, she used them to grow, to rise, to become even more unshakable. She does not compare herself to others because she knows that her journey is unique. She is not in competition with anyone. She does not envy what others have because she understands that what is meant for her will always find her. She is secure in her own path, focused on her own growth, and uninterested in living a life based on what society expects. People may wonder how she became this way, how she walks with such certainty, how she seems so unbothered by the opinions of others. The truth is, she worked for it. She spent time strengthening her mind, training her emotions, and building herself into a woman who does not waver. She chose to stop looking for validation from the outside and instead built a foundation of confidence that no one can take away. And because of that, she moves through life with peace. She does not stress over what others think. She does not live in fear of judgment. She does not waste time trying to prove herself. She simply is fully, completely, and unapologetically herself. And that is the most powerful thing a woman can be. A woman who walks with grace and strength is not swayed by temporary emotions. She does not allow her feelings to dictate her actions, nor does she let fleeting moments of doubt or frustration define her path. She understands that emotions are powerful, But wisdom is stronger. She has trained herself to respond rather than react, to pause before speaking, and to move with intention rather than impulse. She has learned that emotions, while natural, can be deceptive. Anger can make her say things she does not mean. Fear can convince her to shrink when she should stand tall. Sadness can whisper lies, making her believe she is alone when she is not. Instead of being ruled by these emotions, she acknowledges them, processes them, and then makes decisions from a place of wisdom rather than momentary feelings. She understands that life will test her, people will try to provoke her, situations will arise that make her want to react in the heat of the moment. But she has mastered the art of control. She knows that true power is not in loud emotional outbursts, but in the ability to remain composed when the world around her is chaotic. When others lose their temper, she keeps hers. When others panic, she remains steady. When others allow their emotions to dictate their actions, she chooses clarity over confusion. This kind of self-control does not come easily. It is something she has worked for, something she has trained herself to develop over time. She has had moments where she failed, where she let her emotions get the best of her, but she learned from those moments. She did not let them break her. She let them shape her. Now she moves with the confidence of someone who understands her own mind, someone who does not give in to every feeling that passes through her. A woman who is guided by wisdom knows that emotions are meant to be felt but not always followed. She does not suppress them, nor does she ignore them. Instead, she listens to them, understands what they are trying to tell her, and then decides whether or not they should influence her choices. When she is angry, she asks herself why. When she is fearful, she questions whether the fear is real or just a distraction. When she is hurt, she does not dwell in self-pity. She heals, she grows, and she moves forward. She is not easily offended. She does not let the words or actions of others dictate her peace. She has seen how people allow themselves to be controlled by offenses, how they waste energy reacting to things that do not deserve their attention. She refuses to live like that. Instead, she guards her energy. She protects her peace. She understands that not everything requires a response and that silence can be more powerful than words. When people try to provoke her, she does not give them the reaction they are looking for. She does not argue for the sake of arguing. She does not explain herself to those who are committed to misunderstanding her. She does not engage in petty drama or meaningless debates. She values her time too much for that. She knows that her energy is sacred, and she does not waste it on things that do not serve her purpose. Because she is in control of her emotions, she is also in control of her decisions. She does not make choices based on temporary feelings. She does not quit when she is discouraged. She does not settle for less because she is afraid of being alone. She does not rush into things because she feels pressured. Instead, she moves with patience and intention. She trusts the process, knowing that good things take time. Her emotional stability allows her to build strong relationships. She is not the kind of woman who lets small misunderstandings destroy meaningful connections. She does not hold grudges. She does not let insecurity ruin what is good. Instead, she communicates clearly, forgives when necessary, and stands firm in her boundaries. People respect her because they know she is not easily shaken. She is also an example to those around her. Other women look at her and wonder how she remains so calm under pressure, how she handles life's challenges with such poise. It is not that she does not feel deeply, it is that she has learned to master her emotions instead of letting them master her. This kind of control makes her powerful. It allows her to navigate life with confidence. She does not fear difficult situations because she knows she can handle them. She does not avoid challenges because she trusts herself to overcome them. She does not let disappointment break her because she understands that setbacks are temporary. She has learned to detach from the need to always be understood, to always be right, to always have things go her way. She has found freedom in letting go. She has found peace in knowing that she cannot control everything, but she can control how she responds. She does not let heartbreak turn her bitter. She does not let betrayal make her lose trust in people. She does not let failure make her afraid to try again. She processes her pain, learns from it, and then uses it to grow. She refuses to be a prisoner of her past. She radiates an energy that is rare. People feel safe around her, not because she is weak, but because she is strong in a way that is not forceful. She does not demand respect, she earns it. She does not chase validation, she walks in her own truth. Her ability to control her emotions allows her to build a life that is steady, peaceful, and fulfilling. She is not constantly caught in cycles of chaos. She does not waste her energy on meaningless battles. She moves forward with clarity, always focused, always growing. This is why she is unstoppable, not because she never feels fear, pain, or doubt, but because she never lets those things control her. She has mastered herself, and in doing so, she has unlocked a strength that cannot be broken. A woman who stands firm in wisdom does not compromise her values for temporary gain or fleeting approval. She knows who she is, what she stands for, and what she refuses to tolerate. Her principles are not negotiable, and her integrity is not up for sale. She understands that the world will constantly test her, trying to pull her in different directions, tempting her with shortcuts and easy ways out, but she does not waver. She remains steadfast, even when standing alone. She has seen how people compromise their morals for acceptance, how they lower their standards just to fit in, just to be liked, just to avoid conflict. She refuses to live that way. She does not fear being different because she knows that her strength lies in her authenticity. She would rather walk alone in truth than be surrounded by people who require her to betray herself. This kind of conviction does not come without challenges. There will always be people who try to pressure her into becoming someone she is not. Some will call her too rigid, too serious, too difficult. But she is not swayed by their opinions. She does not need validation from those who do not share her vision. She is not desperate for approval because she has already approved of herself. She knows that the world may not always reward integrity immediately, but she also knows that in the end, those who stand firm in their values will always rise. She is not afraid to say no. She does not entertain what does not align with her purpose. If something does not sit right with her spirit, she walks away without hesitation. She does not stay in places where she is disrespected, does not entertain relationships that drain her, and does not accept opportunities that require her to sacrifice her principles. She understands that everything that glitters is not gold, and she is wise enough to discern between true blessings and dangerous distractions. She does not just talk about her values, she lives them. She does not just preach about character, she embodies it. She moves with integrity in every aspect of her life, from the way she speaks to the way she treats people, even when no one is watching. She does not engage in gossip because she knows the power of words. She does not celebrate the downfall of others because she knows that true strength comes from lifting others up, not tearing them down. She is intentional about her actions because she understands that every choice she makes is a reflection of who she is. Her integrity is not dependent on convenience. It does not fade when things get difficult. Some people are only honest when it is easy, only kind when it benefits them, only loyal when it serves their interests. But she is different. Her character is unwavering. She does the right thing even when it costs her something. She stands up for what is just, even when she stands alone. She does not let fear dictate her decisions. She knows that standing firm in her values may mean losing certain opportunities, friendships, or relationships. But she also knows that what is meant for her will never require her to compromise her principles. She would rather wait for the right door to open than force herself through a door that was never meant for her. Her strength lies in her discipline. She does not allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. She does not chase after things that look good in the moment, but will cost her peace in the long run. She moves with patience and wisdom, knowing that anything gained through compromise is never truly a gain. It is a loss in disguise. She values her reputation, but more than that, she values her self-respect. She knows that a good name is more valuable than riches, and she guards it fiercely. She does not let people pull her into situations that do not align with her character. She does not allow herself to be influenced by trends or the opinions of the masses. She does not bend her morals for attention, money, or power. This kind of integrity commands respect. People may not always agree with her, but they cannot deny that she is solid, that she is consistent, that she is unwavering in who she is. Even those who do not understand her choices secretly admire her discipline. They see her strength, even if they do not say it out loud. They respect the fact that she does not bend to pressure, that she does not crumble when tested. She knows that in life, storms will come, challenges will arise. She will be tested in ways she never imagined. But she also knows that a house built on a solid foundation will never be shaken. She has built her life on values that do not crumble under pressure. No matter what life throws at her, she remains rooted, firm, and unshakable. She is a woman of high standards, not just in what she expects from others, but in what she expects from herself. She does not hold other people to a level she is not willing to reach herself. She disciplines her mind, strengthens her character, and makes sure that her actions align with her beliefs. This is why she is different. This is why she stands out, not because she is perfect, but because she refuses to be anything other than her true self. She refuses to compromise. She refuses to betray herself for temporary comfort. She refuses to lower her standards just to fit in. And because of this, she walks with confidence. She does not need to prove herself to anyone because her life speaks for itself. She does not need to explain herself to those who do not understand her because she is not living for their approval. She does not waver, does not hesitate, does not question herself when she knows she is standing on truth. She knows that in the end, integrity always wins. Character always outlasts deception. And those who stand firm in their values will always walk in grace and strength. A woman who carries herself with grace and confidence does not seek validation from the world because she already knows her worth. She does not beg for attention, nor does she shrink herself to make others comfortable. She walks into a room with quiet assurance, not because she needs to prove anything to anyone, but because she understands who she is. She does not rely on external affirmations to feel valuable. Her value is already deeply rooted within her. This kind of confidence does not come from material possession, status, or the approval of others. It is not dependent on how many people admire her or how many compliments she receives. It is not shaken when people misunderstand her or when she faces criticism. Her confidence is built on something stronger, an unshakable sense of self. She knows that her worth is not determined by society's ever-changing standards, nor is it defined by what others think of her. She has already accepted herself, and that is enough. She does not move with arrogance, but with quiet strength. There is no need for her to be loud to be noticed. She does not have to announce her presence to be seen. The way she carries herself speaks louder than words. Her posture, her demeanor, her energy, it all reflects a woman who is at peace with herself. She does not engage in competition because she understands that no one can take what is meant for her. She does not envy others because she knows that what she brings to the table is unique. She walks in her lane, focused, steady, and unbothered by distractions. She does not settle for less than she deserves. She is not afraid to walk away from situations that do not honor her. She does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or mistreatment. She does not entertain relationships, romantic or otherwise, that drain her spirit. She knows that her time, energy, and peace are too valuable to be wasted on anything or anyone who does not align with her purpose. When something no longer serves her, she lets it go without hesitation. She does not beg people to stay in her life, because she knows that the right people will respect her presence and never make her feel like an option. She understands that real confidence is not just about how she carries herself in public, but how she treats herself in private. She speaks to herself with kindness. She does not tear herself down with negative self-talk. She does not compare herself to others, because she knows that her journey is her own. She focuses on becoming the best version of herself, not on trying to outshine anyone else. Her confidence comes from preparation. She does not just wish for success, she works for it. She educates herself, sharpens her skills, and stays disciplined in her growth. She knows that confidence is built through consistency, through showing up for herself every single day. She does not wait for the right moment to start. She creates the right moment by taking action. She is not afraid of failure because she knows that every setback is a lesson. She does not let fear keep her from chasing her dreams. She steps forward boldly, knowing that she is capable of handling whatever comes her way. She does not allow external circumstances to dictate her emotions. She understands that life is unpredictable, that things will not always go as planned, but she remains steady in the face of challenges. She does not panic under pressure, nor does she crumble when things get tough. She knows how to adapt, how to adjust, how to keep moving forward despite the obstacles. Her inner strength allows her to remain composed in situations where others might fall apart. She does not need to control everything around her to feel secure. She trusts the process. She knows that everything is unfolding as it should. She does not rush or force things to happen. She moves with patience, knowing that what is meant for her will never pass her by. She understands that true confidence is not about having everything figured out. It is about trusting that she will be okay no matter what. She is mindful of the energy she allows into her life. She surrounds herself with people who uplift her, not those who drain her. She does not entertain gossip, drama, or negativity. She values her peace too much to let it be disturbed by unnecessary distractions. She knows that confidence is also about protecting her mind and heart from anything that does not serve her growth. She carries herself with elegance, not just in appearance but in behavior. She does not react to every little thing. She chooses her battles wisely. She does not waste her time proving herself to people who do not matter. She does not allow the opinions of others to dictate her path. She listens, she observes, but in the end, she makes decisions based on her own wisdom and intuition. She understands that confidence is not about being perfect, it is about being real. She is not afraid to admit when she is wrong, to acknowledge her flaws, or to embrace her vulnerabilities. She does not pretend to have all the answers, and she does not feel the need to wear a mask to be accepted. She stands in her truth, knowing that authenticity is far more powerful than perfection. She is admired not just for her beauty, not just for her success, but for the way she carries herself with grace, with dignity, with an unshakable sense of self. People may not always understand her, but they cannot ignore her presence. They cannot deny the power of a woman who knows who she is and refuses to be anything less. A woman who embodies wisdom and strength does not react impulsively to the world around her. She understands that not every situation deserves her energy, not every argument requires her voice, and not every battle is hers to fight. She moves with intention, making deliberate choices rather than acting on fleeting emotions. She has mastered the art of discernment, knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to step back. Her power lies not in force, but in understanding. She does not allow external chaos to dictate her internal peace. While others may be quick to anger, easily shaken by negativity or consumed by drama, she remains centered. She does not engage in pointless conflicts because she values her peace more than proving a point. She knows that real strength is not about overpowering others, but about having control over oneself. She does not let petty distractions pull her away from her purpose. When faced with disrespect, she does not react emotionally, she responds with wisdom. Sometimes that response is silence, sometimes it is distance, but it is always a choice made from strength, not weakness. She carries herself with grace even in the face of adversity. She does not complain about hardships or dwell on what she cannot change. Instead, she focuses on solutions, on growth, on moving forward. When she faces challenges, she does not crumble, she adapts. She understands that life will not always be fair, that people will disappoint her, and that setbacks are inevitable, but she does not allow any of these things to define her. She views obstacles as opportunities to sharpen her mind, strengthen her character, and refine her spirit. She is patient, not because she is weak, but because she understands timing. She does not force things to happen before their time. She knows that every season of life has its purpose, and she trusts that what is meant for her will come at the right moment. She is not easily discouraged by delays because she sees them as preparation, not punishment. She does not rush into decisions out of fear or desperation. She moves when she is ready, when she is certain, when the time aligns with her vision. She chooses her words carefully, knowing that what she speaks holds power. She does not waste time gossiping, complaining, or speaking negativity into existence. Instead, she speaks with purpose, using her voice to uplift, to guide, to inspire. She does not allow emotions to control her tongue. She thinks before she speaks, making sure that her words align with her values. She understands that silence is sometimes more powerful than words, and she is not afraid to use it when necessary. She is not easily provoked. She does not allow the opinions of others to disturb her peace. She knows that not everyone will understand her, not everyone will agree with her, and that is okay. She does not seek validation from the outside world because she has already validated herself. When faced with criticism, she does not react defensively. She listens, takes what is useful, and discards what is not. She does not allow negativity to penetrate her mind or heart. She understands that people's judgments are often reflections of their own insecurities, not truths about her. She does not let emotions cloud her judgment. She knows that reacting in the heat of the moment often leads to regret. Instead of making rash decisions, she takes a step back, breathes, and considers the bigger picture. She does not let temporary feelings dictate permanent choices. She knows that emotions are fleeting, but consequences last. She has trained herself to be mindful, to act with clarity, to lead with wisdom rather than impulse. She is selective with the people she allows into her life. She does not entertain those who bring chaos, those who drain her energy, or those who do not respect her boundaries. She does not give everyone access to her mind, her heart, or her time. She understands that not everyone deserves a seat at her table, and she is not afraid to walk away from those who do not align with her values. She moves with intention in all areas of her life. She does not waste time on meaningless distractions. She is focused, disciplined, and driven. She understands that success, whether in relationships, career, or personal growth, requires patience and consistency. She does not expect instant results, nor does she give up when things get difficult. She stays the course, knowing that true achievement is built over time. She respects herself too much to settle for less than she deserves. She does not lower her standards out of loneliness, fear, or convenience. She does not accept mistreatment, excuses, or half-hearted effort. She walks away from situations that do not serve her well, not because she is cold or unforgiving, but because she values herself. She does not cling to what is harmful. She lets go with grace, trusting that better is always ahead. She is not controlled by fear. She does not let doubt keep her from taking risks. She steps into the unknown with confidence, knowing that she is capable of handling whatever comes her way. She does not allow failure to define her. She learns from it and grows stronger. She does not play small to avoid discomfort. She embraces challenges, knowing that true strength is developed through perseverance. She does not move through life blindly. She is intentional in her decisions, in her relationships, in her words, and in her actions. She does not let life happen to her. She takes control of her own path. She does not waste energy trying to control what is out of her hands. Instead, she focuses on what she can change: herself, her mindset, her actions. She understands that the greatest power she holds is over her own choices. She stands apart. She is not swayed by trends, not influenced by fleeting opinions, not controlled by emotions. She moves with purpose, with clarity, with wisdom. She does not chase approval because she does not need it. She does not prove herself because she already knows who she is. And she does not react to the world. She moves through it with grace and strength. A woman who walks with wisdom and strength understands the power of resilience. She knows that life will not always be easy, that challenges will come, and that hardships are inevitable. But she does not allow setbacks to define her. She does not crumble under pressure or let difficulties shake her faith in herself. Instead, she rises. She pushes forward even when the path is unclear. She does not dwell on past mistakes or missed opportunities. She does not waste time feeling sorry for herself. She understands that every setback is a setup for something greater. She does not ask, "Why me?" Instead, she asks, "What can I learn from this?" Because she knows that her trials are not meant to break her. She refuses to let pain make her bitter. She has experienced disappointment. She has known betrayal. She has walked through storms that felt unbearable, but instead of allowing those experiences to harden her heart, she chooses to grow from them. She does not allow herself to be consumed by resentment. She does not hold onto anger or grudges. She understands that forgiveness is not about excusing others, it is about freeing herself. She releases the weight of the past so that she can move forward unburdened. She does not allow negativity to take root in her soul. Instead, she chooses healing. She chooses growth. She chooses to use her pain as fuel to become even stronger. She understands that strength is not about never feeling weak. It is about continuing to move forward despite the weight she carries. There are days when she feels exhausted, when self-doubt creeps in, when she wonders if she has the strength to keep going. But even on those days, she refuses to give up. She does not allow temporary feelings to dictate permanent decisions. She does not let fear paralyze her. She understands that courage is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act in spite of it. She stands firm, even when everything around her seems unstable. She trusts that no matter how difficult the moment may be, she will rise again. She embraces discipline because she knows that greatness does not happen by accident. She does not rely on motivation alone. It is fleeting. Instead, she is committed to doing what is necessary, even when she does not feel like it. She wakes up early when others choose to sleep in. She stays focused when distractions try to pull her away. She does not make excuses. She does not wait for the perfect moment. She takes action because she knows that consistency is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. She understands that success, whether in her career, her relationships, or her personal growth, requires dedication. She does not quit when it gets hard. She does not abandon her goals when progress is slow. She keeps moving forward step by step because she knows that every bit of effort compounds over time. She is adaptable. She does not resist change. She embraces it. She understands that growth requires evolution, and she is willing to step outside of her comfort zone. She does not cling to the past out of fear of the unknown. She welcomes new challenges because she knows they will sharpen her. She is not afraid to start over. She is not afraid to pivot when necessary. She does not view change as a loss. She sees it as an opportunity. She trusts that everything happens for a reason, even when she does not immediately understand it. She does not dwell on closed doors. She looks for new ones to open. She protects her energy. She does not allow negativity to drain her. She is careful about the people she surrounds herself with. She does not waste time with those who belittle her, discourage her, or bring chaos into her life. She values peace over drama. She does not engage in unnecessary conflicts. She does not waste energy trying to prove herself to those who refuse to see her worth. She does not beg for love, attention, or approval. She knows who she is, and she refuses to let anyone diminish her light. She chooses relationships that uplift her, environments that inspire her, and habits that strengthen her. She does not tolerate toxicity. She removes herself from it. She moves forward with purpose. She does not wander aimlessly through life hoping that things will fall into place. She is intentional with her time, her energy, and her focus. She sets clear goals and pursues them relentlessly. She does not let distractions pull her away from what matters. She does not waste energy comparing herself to others. She stays in her lane, focused on her own journey. She understands that success is not about speed, it is about direction. She does not rush. She does not seek shortcuts. She does not chase validation. She builds something real, something lasting, something meaningful. She refuses to shrink herself to make others comfortable. She does not downplay her intelligence, her ambition, or her dreams. She does not apologize for being strong, for being driven, for wanting more out of life. She does not let the fear of judgment keep her from standing tall. She speaks with confidence, walks with purpose, and carries herself with the quiet assurance of someone who knows her worth. She does not need to be the loudest in the room to command respect. Her presence alone is enough. She does not demand attention. She earns it through the way she lives. She trusts the process. She understands that success is not always immediate, that growth takes time, that everything she is working for will come to fruition if she stays the course. She does not let impatience derail her. She does not let temporary failures discourage her. She knows that every struggle, every lesson, every delay is shaping her into the person she is meant to be. She does not give up just because the journey is difficult. She continues because she knows that everything she is working for is already on its way. She does not let the weight of the world crush her. She does not let setbacks steal her joy. She does not let temporary circumstances shake her foundation. She moves with confidence, with resilience, with wisdom. She is unshaken because she understands that her strength is not dependent on external conditions. It comes from within. She does not just survive, she thrives. She does not just exist, she lives with intent. She does not just hope, she believes. She works and she persists. And because of this, she stands apart. She is not easily swayed, not easily broken, not easily defeated. She does not let life dictate her path. She takes control of her own destiny. She walks with grace, with strength, with purpose, and wherever she goes, she leaves a legacy of wisdom, resilience, and power. A woman rooted in wisdom is unshakable. She is calm, not because life is easy, but because she refuses to be controlled by the storm. She knows that strength isn't about being loud, it's about being unmovable. She doesn't prove herself to anyone. Her actions, her grace, her unwavering presence do the talking for her. So to every woman listening, if you want to be truly strong, master your wisdom, guard your peace, and move with grace. Because when you do that, nothing and no one can break you. Now go be that woman.